Hey guys, welcome back to another DK podcast. It's your girl Joey. You are now tuned in for episode 15. In this episode, we will be interviewing Greg, also known as The Real G, a Lormer vet, a really good friend of mine of 20 plus years. Greg has a very detailed journey that he shares with all of us. So sit back and take it all in. Hey guys, welcome back to another DK podcast. I'm your host Joey and we are at episode number 15. Today we have a special guest from my hood, Lormer. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Hello, my name is Greg, also known as The Real G.
What's up, G?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad that I could finally get you here.
I'm here in the flesh.
Let me tell y'all. G is such a pain in my behind, y'all. No lie. No lie. All the way until he got to the door, it was an issue. But I love him. I love him. This is over 15 years of friendship.
I appreciate that. I would say a little more, but okay.
Yeah, absolutely more. I'm just giving him a rough estimate. So today, we brought you in because we want to talk about you. We want to talk about you. We want to talk about your life. We want to talk about how you turn things around. So first, let's start off with you telling me and my audience something about yourself that not too many people know.
Tell you about myself that don't too many people know.
Yeah, speak up, brother.
Wow. You got to dig deep for that one.
Absolutely. Now, come on now. You can't pause that long.
Hey, man, look, I got a lot of stories to tell.
Just tell me something. Are you a secret basketball player? Or you Batman at night? Like, what's up?
I'm definitely Batman. I like that one there. You know, I live in the Bat Cave. I'm Batman.
Okay.
I could go
Batman.
for that. But if you know, you know. It's one of them type of things. If you know, you know.
I got you.
If you don't know, you might learn, you might not.
Okay, I hear you. So, since, it's so deep, that question is so deep, we can move on.
Hey.
We can move on. Tell me about your childhood. Where you from? All of that. Family dynamic, all of that.
I'm from Lormer Avenue.
Hey, you know what I mean? Y'all heard it first.
The original Lormer Avenue. Was born and raised down there for the most part. I lived in a few different neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. Okay, I got love in a lot of different neighborhoods as well.
You got that ghetto pass.
I'm from Lormer Avenue by the way of Duquesne, 312 South 2nd Street. I rep that too as well. I got a significant time in Duquesne. I got some real thorough loved ones in Duquesne. So that's definitely a chapter in my book. But my roots is from Lormer. I also lived on the Hill too, though. I go back to the Hill District in the 80s. I lived in Reed and Roberts projects back in the 80s, so I know about that Hill District too. Mm-hmm. You know, I got some good comrades that I still bang with to this day from over there. So yeah, but I'm from Lormer by way of Duquesne as well, 2nd Street. You know. You know. But yep.
Okay.
East Liberty.
Okay. So what was your childhood like?
I mean, my childhood was it's deep.
Okay.
You know, for me it's deep because, you know, who my parents is and how I came up and what I was exposed to. I mean, it's like I can remember having a childhood. You know, I did do some childlike things and played and like everybody else, I'm normal. But I grew up really, really fast.
Okay.
You know, and I had a mother and a father. Okay. But I grew up really, really fast and I was exposed to some things really, really young. And, you know, some good, some real bad. You know, some just, you know, living experiences, and it's like, you know, that old saying, you live, you learn. Yeah.
Okay.
I got a lot of that.
Growing up, were you a bad kid?
Some people say I was bad. You would say to my grandma and them and my mother, yeah, they said I was bad, but I was always well mannered and a genuine person at heart.
Okay.
Like I'm a protector. I got I'm not a people person. I wouldn't characterize myself as like a people person or nothing. But if you know me, I'll open up to you. If not, I'm more of a militant type. I won't say nothing to you. And it ain't nothing that you did or nothing. It's just that I don't know you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, bad kid. Yeah, I got a fair share of that. I've been around. I did some things I don't really like. I look in the mirror and say, wow, you got away with that one. So, yeah. You could say that, I guess.
So, you mentioned your ground. She recently, departed with us, and I wanted to say God rest her soul because she was a very, very, and still is, sweet lady, and she lived how long?
She was 92 when she checked out. Yeah,
and was still giving hell, y'all.
Yeah,
you hear me?
She lived it all the way up to 92.
When I say she was giving hell, y'all, this lady was wearing heels. Okay, yeah. She was still wearing high heels. I couldn't believe it. I want to be like her. So bad. Yeah. So your journey as a teenager going into your early adulthood, what were you into? What was the things that that made you into who you are?
They say it's like you mimic or you do what you see.
Okay.
I don't come from my family orientation wasn't too much of like a whole bunch of positive stuff. So, in better words, it wasn't always a positive thing going on. But like my mother is my mother, and my father was a gangster.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he was.
My stepfather, he's a gangster.
Absolutely.
He's a street guy. We really from the street, and we grew up. Like even how they say you didn't know you was poor or something. I mean, like I want to say we was poor, but we might have was doing a little better than some other families,
right?
But we didn't have everything. Like I seen some struggles, I seen some tough days for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I could trace it all the way back to the beginning. Like I said, my mom and dad, they did work, periodically or whatever like that.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad was a street dude. He was a gangster. You know what I mean? And he wasn't to be played with.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's like one thing I do know about him. He was in the streets. He was selling drugs, using drugs. And you better not have been on the bad side of him. You know what I mean? As long as you was on the good side, you was all family, all love. But he was a hell of a dude. Like, he was somebody that if he seen you, he'd stop traffic for.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you was on his shit list, he was coming to get you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. How did that shape you?
What, my father? My upbringing?
Yeah.
Well, so for early on, it goes like this for me. I first seen a dead body. It was 1984. I think I was about 6 years old. I remember it like yesterday. My dad was in a dispute with another fellow. I ain't gonna say his name. If you know, you know. But my dad, was having an argument with another guy. For whatever reason, they was arguing. I just happened to be coming around. We live now we live in East Liberty. At the time, it wasn't Home Depot. That was Sears.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, this is 84.
I remember Sears.
And we live till this day. We live right there. You know what I mean?
Right.
My grandma's house is still there. But like I said, my dad was arguing with somebody. I just happened to be coming around the back in the middle of the argument, and the man he's arguing with, picked me up, and was threatening my dad while he got me in his hands. Just like that, from the story I was told. I remember it, but I don't know the deep. That
right.
I knew they was arguing. I did ask my dad about this stuff and what it was all about. He did tell me, so I do know. But yeah. Long story short, so when I came from where they at arguing, my dad was like, the dude put me down, said what he said, and my dad said, "You go in the house." They call me Quinn. He said, "Quinn, go in the house." And I went in the yard, but I didn't go in the house. So, of course, I stayed there. I went inside the fence, and I turned around, and I just watched my dad, and the guy kept arguing. And my dad reached down in his pants pocket at that time, pulled a gun out, and shot and killed him. Right there in broad daylight. He shot him, boom. And then I watched my dad literally turn around, run, went through the side yard over there where those new houses is across the street from East Liberty Boulevard. Used to be a bar there called Capri's. My dad ran through that back alley over there by Capri's bar. And the dude laid there and died. And I remember walking over to the dead body and looking down on him, and his eyes was still wide open, but he wasn't moving. He died right then and there. So that was the first time I ever seen a dead person. Okay, I think I was maybe 6 or something. Like I said, this was 84. I'm saying it to the date because it's documented. You know what I'm saying? This is something we know. So yeah, and my dad, they ended up catching my dad. A little bit after that, he went to jail. He had a trial, and I remember they subpoenaed me as well. I remember the trial vividly, and he ended up beating the homicide charge, or they reduced the charges to justifiable homicide. So he didn't do very much time. He got justifiable homicide for the homie because the dude was labeled a menace to society, and he threatened, my dad and them told him that he threatened me and threatened him, and had me in his hands in the midst of that. So I think that was the first body my dad ended up killing 2 people when I was young. One, I remember them both.
Well, how did that affect you? Growing
I would say it affected me it kind of made me numb and cold to certain things. Even all the way up to, you see a human die, it ain't nothing to see a dog or an animal or a cat, something like that died. It ain't even a human, So it kind of made me a little constructive, a little bit cold and heartless.
Okay.
To some degree.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? Not to all degree, because I am a loving, caring person.
Absolutely.
And everything. But, growing up in the hood, and our culture, it was if that was pretty normalized, And and my mom even tells me that, she said, that affected you, growing up, because I'm not believing, they say ADHD and all these mental health stuff that's going on today. Well, they ain't have a diagnosis for that stuff when I was young.
Right.
You know what I mean? They didn't have that. But I'm definitely kind of cold in that, I could be cold.
Yeah.
Just maybe out of trauma.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. You ended up doing time, right?
Yeah, I did.
How many times did you end up serving time?
I can't even tell you how many times.
Okay, how many do you
It's
remember?
too much to count, but I mean, I got extensive juvenile record.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Schumann Center many a times growing up in the early 90s. I've been to placement. Every time I went in front of the judge, she sent me away. Unless if I ain't beat the case, I got sent away. So I'm used to doing some kind of incarceration time or being away. As I got older, as I turned into adult, I was one of the first juveniles they took to the Allegheny County Jail when it first opened in 1996. I was one of the first. They took us from Schumann Center down to the new jail, the jail that's standing right now. That was 1996. I was one of the first juveniles they took down there. We was on Pod 1C. And then, I got out of that, started getting in more trouble or having more run-ins with the law.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I went from the county jail to the penitentiary.
So most of your arrests, do you care to share what they were for?
Yeah, I got some shootings. I've been involved in some, aggravated assaults. Some drug, selling drugs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been arrested for, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had some other traumatic situations that happened with you personally, with your motorcycle accident, right?
Yeah. I've been in a couple motor vehicle accidents. Changed my life a little bit, or it's a chapter in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blessed and grateful. I'm able to talk about it. I lived through it, so a lot of people don't get to speak about it or something,
right?
Because they end up on the other side of that. But yeah, I'm here. I'm in the flesh, and I'm living.
You have children?
I do.
How many?
I got 5 in total.
5 in total.
Yeah.
How many did you have while you were going through your incarceration period of your life?
How many I had? Well, my first child, I was incarcerated when she was born. And she was born in the year 1999. I remember I was in the county jail. And actually, I was in the county jail and I was in the hole down in jail. I was in the hole. And I'll never forget, it was October 1999. And I'm an October born, so I'm October owned. So I'll never forget the day I was down in county jail in the hole, October 99. And it was October the 20th. I was sitting in my cell. And one of the COs came over to intercom and was like, called me by my last name. And I was like, yo, I was laying on the rack or something. I was like, yo, he's like, I just wanted you to know, your girl had the baby. And he said something else, blah, blah, blah. But he's like, you had a baby girl. He told me I had a girl. And it was like bittersweet. I was happy as hell, but I was sad because I was in jail.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really bittersweet. But yeah, my first child was born. I was in jail. I didn't get to see her come out the womb, out the oven.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of bothered me. It did bother me. Kind of about it. It did bother me. But Allah is the greatest, and it all worked out.
Absolutely. So now, after when was the last stint you did? Do you remember when you came home?
My last time being in the slave camp in prison?
Yep.
Yeah, hell yeah, I remember.
When was
the anniversary?
When? Today?
Nah, my last day in captivity was January the 13th, 2010.
Mm.
I maxed out.
Okay. And so that's been how long? What's that?
About 15 years.
15
Going on
years.
16, inshallah.
Yes. So now what are you doing with yourself? How have you changed your life? How have you made things better for yourself and for your family?
It's simple for me. It's like I do anything I can within my willpower to stay out of that place.
Absolutely.
So it ain't really no certain kind of roadmap or nothing like that. It's just straight survival skills. Just sets in every single day. If my feet touch the ground, I pray and it's on.
Right.
You know what I mean? I ain't got, it's on. It's on for survival. Don't let nobody pull me off my square today. Don't be emotional. Whether any storm to come my way, rain, sleep, hail, snow, heat, like that. So it's really simple.
Yeah.
And I can't give you no certain, I do this to this way and that. I mean, it just kicks in naturally for me.
But you working now, right?
I do. I work.
What you do?
I work with autistic people.
Mm-hmm. What do you do for them?
Taking care of them, making sure, engaging them in the community, trying to normalize them as best as possible. Like I've been through some stuff, so like taking care of people is like that's just like natural to me,
right?
You know what I mean? Because I remember when I couldn't do for myself, so I always want to give it back to the people, to the community, to anybody for real. If you're worthy of, I'll help you. I'm the type, I'll give you my arm if I can.
Now let me ask you this: is this your first serious job?
Yeah, you talking to a bona fide street dude.
I know. I want you to put it out there. That's why I'm asking you. I want you to let these people know.
You talking to?
I know how you get down, or how you used to
mud.
get down.
You
Exactly.
You talking about for the sticks, the mud, the bushes. We'll pitch quarters to pay the bills. You
right.
Know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, technically, it ain't my first one, but it's probably one of the first ones I had that I took as serious as I do today.
Yeah.
And I hold myself accountable and responsible and like that.
Yeah, because life is different, right?
Yeah. I mean, you better be able to change. You better be able to evolve, or you better be able to like be a chameleon and be able to, you better be able to do that, or else you're gonna be caught in a current. You're gonna go the wrong way.
Yep. Or continue going the wrong way.
Yeah, and so, yeah.
And you are a grandfather, right?
Yeah, 2 times.
2 times.
I'm a real pap out here. You know what I'm saying? They got me.
What, you got 2 granddaughters?
Yeah, they got me pap out here. Real time.
As they should.
Yeah.
And so you still got school age children too, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
what are the grades?
I got a son that's 14. He's going into the 9th grade, I believe. I got too many to keep up with, so if I say one wrong, excuse me. But I got a 14-year-old. He's in high school. I got a 9-year-old daughter, and I got a 7-year-old son. My baby son is 7. My other 2 is out of school. They grown.
Right.
Yeah, they
so,
grown.
how with your newfound life, as far as helping them navigate through things to make sure that they stay on the right path? Because I remember you told me your one son, he got 2 jobs, right?
Yeah, they little working dudes. Like, it's an old saying, the fruit don't fall far from the tree.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that shit is true. Excuse my language, but yeah, that's true. And they ain't street dudes, and they don't want to be street dudes, and I love it.
I
You know
love
what I'm
that for 'em,
saying? I
too.
love it because I done did enough street stuff and been in captivity enough for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Even other people's children. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? We ain't going that way. That ain't the way to go. One thing's for sure, I can tell you what to do, and I can tell you what not to do.
Okay.
For the most part, I ain't gonna be right about everything, but if you just listen to the most of this stuff, you're gonna be like, oh no, all right, So yeah, they don't want to be street dudes. They work, they, at the age they is, they learn stuff that I learned late in my life. You know what I mean? They got it kind of early. Like they got good work ethics now
Mm-hmm.
at 18.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They'll get up. They'll get on a bus. I ain't rode a bus since 1991 or 2. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, for real. I ain't
I
even
believe you.
exaggerating. I ain't been on public transportation in a long time.
I believe you.
Yeah, but they'll get up.
So, what does your future look like? What do you have planned for at least the next 5 years?
I can't tell you what my future look like
Oh, what
because
you want it to look like?
we ain't promised the next 10 minutes.
You right.
So I know, all I do is weather the storm. I'm trying to weather what's coming around the corner.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that's just as real as I can tell it to you. I'm trying to, whatever come around this corner in these next few minutes, I just want to be able to weather it.
Right.
So I don't know, what the future bring. I just know what's within my power.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do my very best to survive, to have, and to be able to take care of my people.
And of course, and don't forget, with the help of God, don't do that.
Well, Allah, God is the greatest.
Absolutely.
It starts right there.
Absolutely.
So we always give Him all the praise, all the glory, and respectfully.
Absolutely. I want you to do me a favor because we're going to wrap this up. I want you to look in the camera and I want you to give your best advice to anybody who's home and they trying to get themselves together, and to anybody who's getting ready to come home.
Hey, listen, like, if you home and you out here, everything could be a struggle. I mean, you gotta look at it like this. Your feet touch the ground, it's a great day. It's up to you to fix and change any situation you in, anything that's bothering you that ain't right. It's only up to you to fix it. So it's like, stop bull jiving and get on your job, cause ain't nobody gonna be sitting around wanting to hear you mope and cry about your situation. You gotta get up and change it yourself. For the people that's in the can, hey man, listen, man and woman, don't let your emotions supersede your intelligence. Like, you need to get home, do what you gotta do to get up out of that spot, man, and get back here where we really need you at, because the real shit is real stuff is going on out here. That 3 hots in a cot, that's all free. But you get out here and you gotta pay bills. Them is the real gangsters, the bill collectors, Columbia Gas, Duquesne Light, Insurance Man, Repo, the banks. So, get out here and pay bills, do your dues, and we need you out here.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it no better. Well, guys, I want to thank you, G, for gracing us with your presence and your knowledge. And I want to thank God for giving us all the opportunity to be able to sit here and watch this. I hope you get everything that you need out of this conversation, because this man has been through a lot and he's spilled a lot. And if you know him like I know him, he don't really spill that much. So I'm grateful, and I hope you guys are, for what he shared with us today. Thank you again, and we'll see you later. Have a good week on the next DK podcast. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by. A huge thanks to G, my hood brother. LA will forever pump through our veins. We thank God for all the lessons that He has given you for you to share your testimony with us. G is amazing, and I hope you all took in what he put out, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We would also like to thank all the families that came and participated in the Dreamcatchers first annual Teen Summit Back to School Backpack Giveaway. And be looking out for the next Teen Summit Fall Edition. God bless you all, and we will see you next week with episode 16. And one last thing, my apologies for my voice. I'm a little under the weather, but the show must go on. Peace.